Welcome to a Stampin' On Stuff video. I'm independent Stampin' Up demonstrator Amber Holder, and today we'll be making this super fun and feminine card, perfect for a birthday or a congratulations. We'll be using rich razzleberry to make a standard A2 sized card. Now we've got some Pacific Point we'll be cutting to 3 3/4 by 4 inches. Next up, some Sweet Taffy Designer Series paper. Ooh, love this. 1.5 by 3 3/4 for that. I'm just going to take my rich raspberry card and go ahead and make a nice crisp crease using my bone folder. I'll be using the Tiny Triangles embossing folder on my Pacific Point layer. Super cute. I'm just going to show you a quick photo so you know which way to do the embossing and to lay it. It's 3 3/4 across and 4 inches up and down. I'm using the Fast Fuse. I discovered this works a little better than the snail for this embossed paper. The Really Good Greeting stamp set has this sentiment, finally a day that really is all about you. Super cute. So here I'm just setting up my Stamp-A-Majig so that I can get perfect placement for my sentiment. Make sure you clean your stamp really well because we'll be using clear Versamark. The embossing buddy will help keep extra embossing powder from sticking to our card. It's just a scratch piece of paper folded in half, and I use this when I'm embossing. You'll see why in a moment. So I'm going ahead and using that Stamp-A-Majig to position my sentiment exactly where I'd like it. The Versamark ink will hold that embossing powder in place in just a moment. So go ahead and get that nice sticky ink all over your stamp and stamp it down. Nice and simple, and it shows up pretty well on this dark cardstock as well. So here's the white Stampin' Emboss powder. Just sprinkle it on there. Notice I'm putting it all onto that paper I folded, and that'll help me funnel that extra powder back in a second. Make sure and tap the back. And now we just funnel it back in because we put that fold in the paper ahead of time. Okay, now I've got my heat tool and I'm just going to emboss this. So if you're not used to heat embossing, a couple things to keep in mind. Once you see the powder melt, go ahead and move your heat tool. You don't want to hold it in one spot too terribly long. Also, when I'm done embossing, I heat from the back sometimes as well, and this helps when your cardstock gets all warped and funny shaped. So this Melon Mambo cotton ribbon is just so soft and pretty, and we're going to be using this on our Sweet Taffy layer. So I'm just cutting off a piece first that I'm going to wrap around that long side of the paper. So what I did is use some Fast Fuse on the back, and that's what I stuck the ribbon to get it to sit exactly where I wanted. I had to fumble around with it a bit. I was having some difficulties. And then we're going to take another piece of that same ribbon, going the other direction, we're going to tie a nice little bow, and it almost looks like a present when you tie it up like this. I really, really love it. So fiddle with your bow until you're happy. It took me a while. And then go ahead and trim those ribbon ends off. And I'm just using the Fast Fuse again. Like I said, with the embossing on this card, I just discovered it worked a little better than the snail. So we're going to position this right next to our greeting. Super fun, adorable. Next, we're getting out our essential wooden elements. I'm getting this cute little arrow. I've got Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm just going to cut a little bit of the edge there. It's a nice shape for this particular wooden element. And just need one little snippet of that, and I'm going to point it right at the word you. Now we've got some rhinestone basic jewels. These are so sparkly in person. Wonderful quality rhinestones. So on the top I'm using 2 of the largest rhinestones and 1 of the teeny tiny ones, and on the bottom I'll use 2 of the teeny tiny ones and 1 large one. So we're doing little groupings of 3, just kind of giving it some variety. Don't stress too much, just make it look fun. Now I've got some dazzling details, and I will be going around my Sweet Taffy layer. Just all the places where the ribbon's not and the wooden element isn't, just basically everywhere you see the edge of the Sweet Taffy paper for a little added sparkle and fun. So here's a close-up of the embossing, and you can really see the rhinestones and the pretty sparkle. There's the whole card all completed. Thank you so very much for watching today. Please be sure and stop by my website, stampinonstuff.com, to find more project ideas, PDF files, and easy links to shopping. All the artwork used today is copyright Stampin' Up!